Hello everyone, welcome, my name is Phoenix and this is the Consumer's Guide to Video Games. Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. 2003, Sam Lake and Remedy Entertainment. Max Payne 2 is a third-person shooter game where the player takes control of the titular hard-nosed cop. Taking place a short time after the events of the first game, Max Payne has rejoined the NYPD as a detective. His latest case involves a string of killings that are connected to a cleaning company. When Max gets deep into the case, he runs into Mona Sachs, and from then on, the case spirals out of control until Max has to face not only who is behind this company, but his own demons. This is more gumshoe shooter action, but this time it is more refined, and it really impressed me when I played through it this time. The gameplay is probably the most improved element when compared to its predecessor. Max Payne 2 features similar gameplay to Max Payne 1, but this time it is so much more polished. The character movements and general feel of moving and shooting is so much better. This in turn makes the action of the game so much more satisfying. Shootouts are well designed and it truly feels like you are controlling a scene from something like The Killer or Hard Boiled or The Matrix. While there are still difficulty spikes in this game and there is still bullshit platforming, they feel more manageable. This is especially the case with the platforming, as jumping on tiny wooden planks or ledges feels less janky than in the first game, thanks to smoother controlling characters. Another improved element is the art design. From graphics to music, everything is a step up from the last game. Visually, we are at the peak of the OG Xbox and PS2. So for a game of this era, this was top-notch stuff. To this day, Max Payne 2 looks pretty damn nice. The character models all got facelifts, and while they can still look a bit stiff, they move more fluidly compared to Max Payne 1. The comic book cutscenes look less like Photoshop pictures of Sam Lake, and more like actual pages from a comic book. The line work and sketching looks beautiful, and the lettering looks like something from an actual comic you'd see on the shelf of a shop. The music in the game is more dynamic as well, really going hard on the neo-noir stylings as opposed to early 2000s action movie butt rock music. The synth and orchestral arrangements really mesh well with the tone of the game. The brilliant original theme returns and it hits so much harder this time around. Further, we have new pieces that feel like something from a film like Body Heat or Basic Instinct, where we have these echoing percussion and piano lines over top horns, strings, and even tasteful rock instrumentation. It made the action scenes pop with a uniqueness that wasn't felt in the first game. The story, I think, though, is an odd case, as I feel one aspect is holding the other back. Specifically, I feel the acting is kind of holding the writing back. The writing is more of the same stuff from the first game. We got that neo-noir style that takes us on many twisting turns and swerves. The narration is really nice as usual. What I really like, though, is the attempts at really delving into Max's character. In this game, we really start to understand that Max is a very broken man, and is really not right in the head. The deaths of his wife and kid, and going on this bloodlusted warpath, leaves him hooked on pills and alone with his tormented thoughts. Okay, so I think what I was trying to communicate in this particular portion was that there were a ton of character details and like expositional information that was left as sort of a background thing in this game, as opposed to Max Payne 1, where if you found something it would cut immediately to like a comic panel cutscene. In this game it was more so just you found it, and that was that. It melded into the gameplay really well. It made the world feel more lived in. Yeah. And one of my favorite moments is something I'm gonna talk about right now. Continue. One of the moments like this is when you discover a sniper's nest of someone spying on you, and you hear a voice message that was recorded. This message is one of Max calling a sex line, and essentially venting about all the shit he's been through to a phone sex girl. When called out on this, he just shamefully hangs up. It really struck me and showed how desperate and tormented Max Payne is. When all is said and done and fucking everyone's dead, including Mona, Max gives us one last line to this effect or something, whatever. I had a dream I saw my wife and she died, but it was alright. Defeated by the pain, Max seems to have accepted his dark fate as a broken man, and does so seemingly with a smile on his face. While all this writing is neat, I feel the acting doesn't do it justice. We do have James McCaffrey returning to voice Max Payne, and for him alone, he seems to really nail the brooding monologues, and he nails those more emotional moments that this game will throw at you from time to time. But everyone else seemed to be either not understanding the assignment, or just phoning it in for a paycheck. Wendy Hoop's performance as Mona was really boring and wooden. There were moments that felt like they required more heightened emotions and reactions, but Wendy was just barely putting anything into her performance. Had she given it 110%, the intended feelings expressed in a given scene might have come across more clearly. Jonathan Davis? No, not that Jonathan Davis. No. He was fine as Vladimir Lem. About the same quality as the guy from the first game. Really, just the majority of the voice cast just give a just fine performance, if you know what I mean. Like, they're okay, I guess. So, in the end, I'm very interested in seeing Max Payne 1 and 2 remade. While this game doesn't really need any more refining from a gameplay perspective, I think a second chance for the voice cast would be in order. Max Payne 2's strengths clearly lie in the much improved gameplay, graphics, and score. The writing is solid, but it is sadly bogged down by inconsistent acting. Still, this game is a fun time sink, and if you want to kill a few hours and or dig a good shooter, this game's pretty damn good. And I'm feeling a 7 out of 10 on this one. It might be a bit generous due to the voice acting, but the gameplay really keeps this one together. Catch you later, guys.